What up? This is Worldhoppers, where we talk about stuff and the ad money goes to charity. So you should not skip the ads. Please.
Pretty please.
It's a really good intro. What's the video about today?
Isn't that a good intro? Oh, I need to
You should not skip the ads, please.
Don't skip the ads. This is part 2 of Let's Argue, where we're going to talk about books that some of us don't like and then talk bad about them. So remember, all of the ad revenue goes to charity. So if you skip the ads, you're stealing from poor people.
Oh yeah, and people in need. Oh man, that was
Worldhoppers.
stellar.
I don't get the reference.
Same here. It's fine.
You
Oh,
know.
I mean,
I know where it's from.
I do know what it's from. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't
haven't
get
read
it.
it.
What are we talking about?
Alan's saying he doesn't know what the reference of Worldhoppers is.
No, I mean I know what it is. I just haven't read the book that has it in it.
You just don't have context yet, so it makes no sense.
Correct.
Yeah,
So every
so
time
it's
I
like-
search like Worldhoppers in the YouTube, like some people's videos like every Worldhoppers reference in blah blah blah, and I'm like,
We're
are they
famous.
talking about our group? And I'm like,
Yes,
oh
we're
wait, no,
famous.
that's different.
It's a totally different thing.
And
We're
knowing
not
you, because anytime we bring up any Sanderson book, you're like, is this spoiling Miss Moore?
You don't understand. You don't understand. I am so terrified of having Hero of Ages spoil before
Well,
I
you
get
know,
to it.
You could solve that problem by finishing the book.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Leanna. Why don't I just read more? Just read more.
Yeah,
Because the only reason I haven't gotten through them is because I just hate reading. You're
I
right.
knew it.
need to read more books.
You read too many freaking books a month, Leanna. It's too
You
many.
told me last time that I don't read at all, and you have evidence of that. And I just think that you were projecting because you
Leanna,
don't
there's
read at
literally
all.
there's a man on the way to your house to set your bookshelves on fire as we speak. And
I like
That
gonna
is
start
violent.
the point of ignition, the POI in fireman's parlance. The POI is going to be your freaking subterranean press, fancy Red
I think
Rising.
Alex wants
Listen,
those.
I'm gonna take them before the fire starts.
I'll take, yes, you can have those. And
Alex will show up, and I'll be like, "Are you here to save me?" And he'll be like, "Nah, I'm here to save
I'm here for the
book."
Why?
I'm going to take the
Alex.
fairy loot ones.
You
I
may
call
save
dibs
the
on
books.
those.
Oh yeah.
I like how we're supposed to be arguing about books, and we're just yelling at each other.
Straight to arson.
Yeah. There's threat. We're threatening
Fahrenheit
each other.
451, where Alan wants to burn books.
Just your books.
She has
Nice
so
books.
she has so many nice books. Alan,
I
can
know.
you just keep her
That's why-
outside and tell her books
No.
are burning, and then
No, I would burn all of them, and I would video it, and I would put it on. I would put it on your channel.
Oh,
That's
God.
impressive.
I do want to say there's an Instagram account where they do like artsy pictures of books burning, and people get really mad at it, and
I
they're
bet
like,
they do.
it's my book.
Yeah. You spend
Oh, by the
money on
way,
it.
anyone watching, I'm not going to burn anybody's books, so please don't come at me.
You're
We're all
not.
really concerned.
I thought you were serious.
Some people might think so. Every year, my students, I'm like, I can't go back to prison.
Don't tell
And-
them that. They were all
and
going
they're
to start
like-
watching my videos like every single week to make sure that my bookshelves hadn't been burned.
Maybe. But my students are always like, have you been to prison? I'm like, do I strike y'all as someone who would have done well in jail? Like, really?
You prison Mike.
That's right. The
The
Dementors.
Dementors. This is so derailed. I love it.
The worst part is the Dementors. Yeah, and I never got caught neither.
Oh my God. You're out of control. I love it.
What
So,
are we
Alan-
talking about, Elle?
What?
What are we talking about?
We're not sure.
Someone talk about a book so someone can
Yeah,
trash it.
Alan.
No,
what-
we're not going to start with me.
no. I have
Oh.
it pertains to. I was gonna say, which book would you burn of Leanna's because you hate it so much? I was segueing.
She was segueing by still putting the onus on you to begin the discussion.
The problem is I haven't read enough of her crappy books.
Fighting words.
It would be the worst if I burned the First Law ones, but I haven't read First Law, so I'm sure they're fine. I don't know. I haven't read enough of Leanna's books.
I just
She-
thought
she's-
you'd immediately go for Six of Crows. I thought this was a no-brainer.
I haven't read Six of Crows.
I
right.
thought you burn it on principle.
Wait a second, though. That has never kept you from ranting about the leaning and the generic
The
hot
glitches.
hole.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, I mean, it's so close to me to being read by me that I'm gonna read it first, and then I'll
And
come
you're
back
gonna
with that.
love it. I can't wait.
That's not true. That's not
Oh
true.
my gosh. There was one day Alan and I were doing a reading sprint for my patrons, and he for so long was going off about Ben Barnes and how Ben Barnes is
Freaking
just
Ben
so
Barnes.
generic.
I'm so sick of Ben Barnes.
And he would not stop saying that he would never be able to pick Ben Barnes out of a lineup. And I'm like,
I did a video. It was like the mid-year freakout tag, right? And so I had to
the
name
thumbnail is great.
I had to say my newest fictional crush, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say what everybody else does and say Ben Barnes. And
He's
I was
not
like,
fictional though. That's a real human being.
only one person said, "Hey, you know, Alan, like Ben Barnes is a real person, right?" But every time I mentioned Ben Barnes, I put up some big-goateed like actor similar to his age, and it was like I don't know. I have no idea who I put up there because
in
again,
the
I can't tell them
thumbnail,
apart.
you had Jon Snow, and you said, "Is this the Darkling?" Right? Or is
Yeah.
this
I said, is this Ben Barnes? Didn't Ben Barnes play Jon Snow? Is that
It
right?
reminds me of Jenna Marbles and her boyfriend Julie, and he cannot tell the difference between Sandra Bullock, Julia Roberts, and Anne Hathaway. Like,
Those guys
cannot
look-
tell.
That's
And
not.
they did,
It was
like,
nothing like.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, and
They're all
he's like, I don't know, they all look the same.
It's not like they all have dark hair and a goatee.
Yeah, if those three ladies had goatees, then it'd be much more difficult.
They
to tell them
totally look
apart.
the same. They would
They
look
would
exactly
be.
the same.
Look, the more generic, like the more generic looking attractiveness a person has, well, the more people talk about them, the more likely they are to be generically attractive. So no one's sitting here like, who talks about Sandra Bullock and friggin' Julia Roberts in 2021? Like that was
Apparently, Jenna Marbles.
Well, that was a couple years ago, so.
yeah. Anyway, who has a book that everybody hates? Jashana, you read a bunch of stuff nobody likes, right?
Wow! Wow! I
Wait,
just
no,
don't hurt.
you read a bunch of stuff that you don't like. Never
It's
mind.
true.
I'm trying to think of what we've all read though, because there's.
Jashana, I watched that last week's DNF video where you're like, yeah, I read like 3 words and say nope, and I throw it in the garbage.
3 words.
You
3
DNF
words.
at like 2%.
I have only DNF'd 8 books this year.
Only
That's.
Yeah.
I haven't quit any books.
I've
Read better
DNF'd
books.
one book.
Good for you.
Read better books.
What book did you DNF, Leanna? Let's talk
Be
about
more
that one.
selective.
These Violent Delights by whoever that's by.
Oh, you know what? And I liked it by Chloe Gong.
Okay, why is it trash, Leanna? Because Elle likes it.
Oh, I read like the first 2 chapters and I was like, I don't like this, but I don't hate enough to rant about it. So like this will be a complete waste of my time. So I'm not gonna read this.
It was feeling very like 2.5, 3 stars or something.
Like 1.5. This like
Oh.
this zone where like a 1 is like, oh, I could just like hate this. I want to yell about it. But 1.5 is like,
See, I would rant about that because
So you weren't mad, you were just disappointed.
just yeah.
I just
Okay.
felt such like utter and complete nothingness. And I was like, I can't be reading
That's
this.
pretty tough.
That's no fun. I mean, obviously, I like, although I don't know if I'm ever going to reread it, the Akatar series. I don't think I'll ever reread that.
Alan will read it for you and tell you how
No,
it
I
ends.
won't. No, I won't. Man,
Okay.
everyone is like, there's been 2 missed opportunities for me to read Akamath. Like one in the last read along, which I did not get below 3rd place. And then the challenge that I won. I won a challenge. And if I'd have lost, it would have been Akamath. So I ain't reading it because Akatar is terrible. I don't like it at all.
Did you know that Leanna used to have those books, Alan?
That doesn't surprise me. She didn't like good things. She gives 5 stars to like trashy, like YA romance, and then like 2 or 3 stars to good crap.
But
that
I
talks
gave
about
5
stuff
stars
that's
to Guns of
interesting.
the Dawn, so by your definition, that makes
No.
Guns of the Dawn trash, right?
That's not the only thing you give 5 stars to. I'm just saying a large. I don't understand you as a book rater. I don't understand at all. Like I just don't understand. It's
no
as
sense.
if you reach into a freaking Crown Royal bag where D&D players keep their dice, and you pull out a placard that has any number of stars 1 through 5, and whatever you pull out of the bag, that's what you give the freaking book.
That's how
I have
she
no
reads.
idea I have no idea of knowing what you like. or why. There's no way to make sense of it.
I will say, I think Jessie last week, she couldn't join us today, but I think she brought up Kings of the Wild, because don't some of you like that book?
I liked it.
She likes the book.
It's
But
good.
did Leanna and I both DNF that one?
I finished
Dang.
it because it was like a book club book, so we had to have a live to talk about it, and I
Poor you.
loathed
Tell
it
me
and
about Kings of the Wild.
despised it.
Tell me about Kings of the Wild, Leanna. Why is it terrible?
Because it's like really
Because she doesn't like fun.
childish and sexist and boring and gross, and I was just like, ew.
How is this all of those things?
Yes.
There's
I'm
a
the same
whole
thing. I
section
haven't
where
even
like
read
this
it.
woman is described as like her boobs on offer at a market to him, and like I was just like,
I don't remember that at all.
Here we go. Here they are.
I remember it was just like a stupid fun D&D campaign is basically how I took it. So I didn't take it seriously. I thought it was fun.
there was so many like dick jokes and like it was just so it felt like it was like Animal House but like with swords.
It was clever though because all the band references and all
That's
the
why
like.
Jessie likes it.
That's why it's fun though because you don't read a lot of things that are just like, hey, let's take literal. Alan's just eating pizza.
Well, that's so I knew it was like kind of inspired by the idea of like, you know, like taking a band of mercenaries and a rock band and kind of like merging those concepts, which I thought sounded pretty cool. I just didn't know it would be so like on the nose, like, get it, guys, get it. It's like a band reference. And I was like, yeah, no,
I mean, it's very on the
get it.
nose, but I thought it was funny because they were talking about like going on tour, but it's like to kill orcs instead of going on like they're talking about like having front row seats to the show, and it was fun. What?
I didn't get very far into it because I was like, no thanks. But I remember there being like a really kind of I feel bad, but there being like a really cliche, him talking to his daughter and he's like, Dad's gotta go on a mission. She's like, no, Dad, please don't leave. And he's like, I have to leave. And she's like, but I love you and I will miss you. But then I remember there's a part where they're like all the guys are together. And they're like talking to another dude, and they just have those jokes like, you know how the wife is, ha ha ha, like those kind
And
of
it's a
jokes.
bunch of grizzled old men.
I know, but I mean, like that kind of.
I want to read about that.
I'm
Well, see,
okay.
like, that's what the difference
I don't know
is.
who wants to read about fairies having sex every other page.
A lot of people.
Shauna.
Shauna does.
That's fun. That's just fun. It's
Tell
like-
us about the new romance novel you're reading.
It's a good time.
Yeah,
Oh,
what was the one you're reading?
This one.
That looks swell.
That was also a
looks
book
like he has
club
a lot
book
of
that I had to
personality.
read all the way through and was not pleased.
That book
Yeah,
is huge.
it's all right. It's kind of boring. Everyone made it sound like there was so much spicy.
Is that the like dragon one?
Yeah, Gathering of Dragons.
Because when Shoshana, when you and I did the video with the
There's no
romance
dragons in it though.
Yeah, there's no dragons.
Yeah, when we did the video with the romance readers, I think one of the people in that video was like, "You all lied to me. This book was long and boring." Like,
Yeah, it's kind of what's happening. But yeah, I like, because to me that's fun. But yeah, reading about a bunch of old crotchety dudes being like, oh, the old ball and chain, that does not sound like fun.
See, like
Sounds
that is fun
terrible.
to me if it's like very obviously like the author is not saying that. You know what? So like the thing that Kings of the Wild was compared to him, the thing that like the way it was hyped, the way it was blurbed was like, this is like First Law meets this is Spinal Tap. Two of my favorite things in the world are First Law and Spinal Tap. And I was like, yes. And then I read it and I was like, no.
Did not.
I mean, I don't think it's anything like First Law, but
I think they
People are
like I think that
great.
having now read it, they were just trying to go for like what is the most like, you know, like grim dark there's like blood and swords and stuff. So like, okay, First Law, and then like Rock Band, so Spinal Tap. But like the nuance in Spinal Tap and the nuance in First Law is totally missing in Kings of the Wild.
Yeah, it didn't sound that fun to me, the premise. I was kind of like, no, okay.
I mean, First Law has.
I mean, the premise is simple though. It's supposed to just be like a fun D&D campaign. They're literally going to save this dude's daughter. Like,
Yeah.
that's the story, and then it's everything to do with that. So like the characters and like the structure of how they reference. I mean, some of the band reference stuff is a little bit like yeah, like Leanna said, like, did you get it? It's a reference, but some of it's actually done pretty well.
You know what though? What's kind of funny about that is that's almost the exact opposite of the literary books that Sean reads, my husband. Because man, is it like smart? Well, I say smart. It's like a specific, very small group of people trivia game. I think in the books that he reads, it'll reference the most abstract, like the duck in, oh my gosh, Mason and Dixon. Do you guys know about this? There's like a mechanical duck in Mason and Dixon, and there was like a real
for a long time.
Yeah, and there's a real person in history who made a mechanical duck. And if I'm not mistaken, he made it so that it looked like the duck actually went to number 2. And like the guy would like had it like it was it was mechanical, so he would like put stuff in it so that it looked like it was a real duck and stuff, and it was like a big deal. And if you are reading that book and you know about this random fact in history, then you're like, that's what it's referring to. But if you don't, you're just like, what is this?
Sounds
so the opposite of Things in the Wild, basically. What was the one, Alex, you read? Fate of the Fallen?
I read that.
I wish Jessie
was a while
were
ago.
here. I wish she were here.
Where is Jessie? Oh, man.
She hated it.
that.
So I didn't take it. Is it okay? Hold on. I don't typically read YA books. Is it a YA book?
I don't think so.
No.
Because it's like 300 pages, so short, but it's supposed to be like epic fantasy. But it's got like, I enjoyed it for what it was. I do not take it seriously. I don't think, I guess you could hate on it, but like, again, it was like a stupid fun, like, oh, that was fun. But I totally see why. Like, if I go back and read it, I'd probably be like, I
don't want to misrepresent Jessie's taste or like say this as a diss or anything.
I just messaged Jessie. Hopefully she will respond back.
Okay.
I
feel like she definitely usually goes for those kind of fun, like this is not a super serious thing. Like Kings of the Wild, she liked. So I was surprised that she didn't like Fate of the Fallen because everything I'd heard of it, I thought like, oh, Jessie, this sounds like something Jessie would like, and she was like, it's so bad.
I mean, it's fun though. It's just it's very shallow. It's like the whole concept of it is cool because it's the whole premise is like, what if the chosen one fails, right? Or like if for some reason they can't fulfill the prophecy, like what happens? The issue, which I mean, obviously now that like I could think about it after reading it, is that it doesn't go very deep into actually like exploring that. But I thought it was fun for what it was, and I had never read this author before.
And like, when I was gonna read it, but then I saw Jessie not like it, and I was like, Jessie is way nicer than me. She didn't like it. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like
Jessie, she sent it to me. She sent it to me as a Christmas present, and then when she was done reading it, she's like, I feel really bad that is what I got you for Christmas.
It's as if
I want to know why she hated it though, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of books that they get 5 stars around these parts on BookTube, and then it's like Fate of the Fallen was like, it's not that bad.
By around these parts?
I said BookTube.
I was going to do you mean us or do you mean like other people on BookTube?
No, just BookTube in general. I feel like there's a lot of things that like, I feel like people are very like picky and choosy about like what they're willing to forgive. So it's like, oh, Kings of the Wild is trash, but like Fate of the like she loved King of the Wild because it's probably slightly more nuanced and adult, but
oh god,
like none of you think that it's nuanced. So it's like Fate of the Fallen is like a much probably worse book technically.
I'm also flabbergasted that she would hate Fate of the Fallen so much and love Foundry Side.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying though. It's
it's like giving Ember and the Ashes 5 stars and then crashing on Sam Bimes and the Watch.
Hey, Alan, have you read The Wolf yet? Because like this weekend is coming up real soon.
Freaking right here.
Yeah, but have you read it? That's not an answer.
I read this book a year
There's
and a half
bookmark
ago.
in it. It's clearly in transit.
How far into it are you?
I'm a little over halfway.
Deshauna and I did not
ranting about it, so that's a good sign.
No, I do not. I don't dislike it yet. I have some issues with the author. Like I'm like I wish you would have sent it to me, and I'd be like, why do you write like this? Like, please stop being weird. Like some of the stuff he writes is weird. Like and we'll say this in the live show, but he'll say he has the characters repeat narrative information a lot. And it's like, dude, you just said that. Like, stop it. But otherwise, I don't know why anyone. I mean, Elle's right. They do talk about mighty warriors a whole lot. Like everybody's like the new best, warrior. But
it's so funny.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, why?
I
like
didn't
the thing you were talking about last year. Do what?
restarting. I said I didn't like the characters, a lot of them.
Oh, I like the war stuff.
Yeah, and it's about war stuff, and like I felt like the plot just kept like restarting. We were just like on a freaking hamster wheel.
I like the back and forth between Bellamus and Roper, so I am liking that. I just like Elle said last week with the I forgot what she said last week. I had a point and I lost it. Anyway,
well, I'll say, I did like Yvorin and Roper like going head to head. Trying to manipulate each other. Well, more Yvorin was trying to manipulate him. And then anyway, like I enjoyed that aspect of the book. That was my favorite part. I do feel like certain things were just, it was funny because Shoshana thought like nothing ever worked. And I felt the opposite. I felt like everything worked too easily. But, which is like funny to have the opposite. But there's a part, as far as repeating information, there's a part in the, like, I think it's in the narration where they're talking about Price, and they're like, Price isn't the best, like he's not the most skilled, but everybody knows you do not get in a fight with Price because he's just so fast, right?
Yeah, like that's the thing you said last week that I was talking about. I got you.
And then it literally says almost word for word in the dialogue, a guy is like, everybody's always said to me, don't get in a fight with Price, he's so fast. And I'm like, this is like exactly the same thing that I was told before. But now it's being,
I agree, but it's his debut novel, and so it bothers me less than if it was like, his fourth novel. But yeah, no, I mean, I get that. Klaus gave it 3 stars, Leanna, and so I've been talking with Klaus a little bit, but I do not dislike it. I want to finish it so that I can actually.
I feel like maybe not in everything.
I wish I could trash it.
I feel like not in everything necessarily, but a lot of times it seems like Klaus and I have similar tastes, except for he doesn't like Sanderson. Is that right? Yeah. Or am I totally wrong on that?
He hates Way of Kings.
Right. But I feel like other things he's agreed on. I wish there were more books that you guys had read that I've read so that we could like.
The problem is that you and Leanna read too much, and like I'm sitting here 4 books a month. Alex is slightly higher, but you guys are like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Well, I only assigned you 4 books, one of which was the Shelf Space book.
And guess what? I didn't finish them.
How does everyone here feel about Murderbot?
I've never read it.
I haven't read it yet, but I know Alan has feelings.
It's fine. Murderbot is
that's like, literally like that's the height of it. Is it's fine.
In the no disclaimers tag, I foolishly had forgotten about Murderbot because I should have said
about it.
Authors are stuff that were overhyped or overrated. Murderbot is for me the most overhyped book I've read since being on BookTube, and it's not bad. But and Jessie the same way. Jessie was messaging me on Voxer the whole time she was reading. She's having the exact same experience as I was.
Yep.
It had been hyped as hilarious and just incredible
and heartwarming
and it was just it was fine. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was fine.
I don't think there's anyone here that disagrees that like loves Murderbot.
I do feel a little bad because we keep mentioning our friends that aren't here, but Jade likes Murderbot a lot. I feel like she was the first one in our friend group to pick it up, and she's been telling me about it for forever. And then you and Jessie don't like it, but
I think part of the hype. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, please go ahead.
Part of the hype machine is it came down from the really big BookTuber channels. Some of the really big ones were hyping Murderbot like a lot, and I think that's where like the hype train. I think
it was also like the kind of thing that if you hadn't had it hyped to you, like you just randomly read it and you'd be like, oh wow, like that was really good. And then if you now tell everybody, hey, this is pretty good, and everyone's like, oh, everyone's saying you got to read this, and then it like spirals into like, this is the best sci-fi book ever, and you're like, whoa, whoa.
That's how I felt when I read Ender's Game. I was reading through Ender's Game, which is hailed as like the best sci-fi ever, and I was just like, this is it. This is the greatest that's ever been done.
Really? That's how. I mean, a lot of people love Hyperion, and I don't love Hyperion. I know my husband's dad really likes Hyperion, and he let me borrow it, and I read it, and I was like, I felt bad because I was like, this is fun, connecting to Sean's dad, and I was reading it, and I told Sean, I'm like, I don't like this, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt your dad's feelings, but I like kind of can't stand it. But Alan,
I'm reading Hyperion again. Yeah, I liked it when I read it before. I mean, I didn't love it. It's very, the writing style is super literary to me. It feels very literary. Like again, it's kind of like based on, it's, kind of inspired by Canterbury Tales, and it feels that way. But I'm reading it again next month with Angela on Shelf Space. It's the Shelf Space pick for next month.
Nice. I think there's actually one story in it that I think is incredible, and it's the one about I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's basically like the Benjamin Button story.
Yeah.
And that one's incredible and really sad. And then I think a big part of what people find really appealing about Hyperion is that he takes on the writing style of the genre he's sort of doing within each story. And I just basically didn't care about any of the other stories. So I only really liked the one, and I thought it was incredible. And then the other ones I didn't care for.
I thought there was an evil clown in it. Like one of them was like the clown, and it wasn't. There's not a clown in it.
Wait.
Spent the whole book being like, "Where's the clown?"
No. Like when I was talking about rereading it, I'm like, oh yeah, man, I hated the evil clown part. It's not a clown. I know who I am thinking of. I know which of the characters I am thinking of now. But
You're thinking of it.
I thought no, I'm not. Like everyone always says that. Like I know what it is. I have read it.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I literally can't tell you because otherwise it spoils the plot of the book. But yeah.
Interesting.
So
I never
It's
wanted
been
to
years since I've read it, so I unfortunately
it's not a clown.
Okay, so
I thought one of the POVs, like one of the people telling a story, was the clown. It's not. It's a different thing. Look,
Right. Well,
y'all don't know.
you're right. I have no idea.
We have no idea what you're talking about. None whatsoever.
Alex, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, so what? Okay, because I know we've talked about it before, and I forget why you like one over the other. So Red Rising, why did you prefer the first one to the second one, and why have you not finished through Dark Age?
Are you talking to me? I'm assuming you're talking
Yes,
to me.
Yeah, you.
That hasn't. Okay, do you want me to rant?
I'm
that's
asking
what
you
this
an
is,
honest
Al.
question.
Well,
Since we have
okay.
nothing to be angry about.
I have no desire to continue. I won't. This, of course, spoiler free. I have zero desire to continue on with the continuation series. And
Okay.
Leanna knows because we buddy read Iron Gold together, and I had it signed by Pierce Brown. We met him together, and I was like, I'm getting rid of this book because it like completely, for me, demolished the morals of one of the characters. In my opinion, Leanna definitely disagreed because she was like, I feel like this is exactly what this character would do. And I'm like, no, it's not. And I was so upset by that I was like, I'm not reading this. This is ruining the
Wait,
story.
who?
I think she is
I can't
talking about
say.
when I think she is talking about is when one of the guards is killed.
No, I'm talking about like the entire book. I feel like the character is a completely different person.
But
Yes,
hold on,
Shoshana.
hold on, because you can say a name of a character if it's
I
a
can't
POV.
though, because then it reveals the character, because it's the character from the original series.
Sure, but it's just
So
your
it would
feeling.
reveal that this character.
What does it
lives.
start with?
Alex, I think we typed in the chat.
Yeah, look in the chat.
I mean, yeah, is that not?
Yeah.
I mean,
And, Alan, I know-
I thought that particular moment was kind of OOC. I didn't really understand why it had to, like, that had to go down. So I'm with Elle on that point, but not.
But I don't think Elle was mad about like that
scene.
scene. It was just like
Just mad
all
about
of
it
it.
in general.
You're just
I
mad
read-
about. You're mad about that entire like decision to take that character in that direction.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're not going to read it at all, even though there's other POVs.
I read the entirety of that one, and I despised what I felt was like the ruin of a very like a loved character. I loved that character.
Well, you
and I
broke
was like,
Alan.
I was gonna say, I think he's eating his pizza. I don't know. Maybe he.
Did
Alan
you love all?
trying
Did
to
you
hide
love
his
all the
face.
things that he did in Morningstar too?
I feel like Morningstar, though. I don't know. I just feel like it was a different. It was different.
Yeah,
for
he
me.
was younger.
No, not
He was
because he
younger.
was younger. I just felt like I felt like the whole concept of like this character is becoming the very thing they hated, and I'm like, that's annoying to me. That I don't know. I just really couldn't stand it. And also, I didn't like Ephraim is his name, right?
Well,
I
Alan
didn't
will agree
either.
with you.
Yeah, I don't like Ephraim.
Ephraim sucks.
I
I didn't
the
like
other-
Ephraim at all in Iron Gold, and I didn't
then-
like Lyria at all
Yes.
in Iron Gold.
I was supposed to say that actress, that POV.
Who played her? Was it Julia Roberts?
Who did Elle cast in her
Sandra
mind that
Bullock.
ruined her
Or Sandra
character?
Sandra Bullock.
No, that
No, it's Anne
POV,
Hathaway.
Yeah,
that
it might have
POV was like, you know when people talk about like a character lacking agency and just being there to like progress the plot or to show a certain, because basically they were there to be like,
They're there as a camera. Things are just
Yes.
happening. Yeah.
and so I found the only other character that I was like, this is actually super interesting is the other point of view. And I don't want to say that point of view
The
either.
one we all don't like as a person.
I loved that POV though, because it was interesting.
Sure.
And I was like, I like this. And then I actually feel like what could have been cool is if the entirety of the second series was from that, like mostly that character and how they came to despise the characters from the previous books. I
Maybe you
think.
should read Dark Age
I
then.
was gonna say a lot of Dark Age is about that.
Okay, but I don't even care about the characters from the original books that are our heroes because they're no longer heroes anymore. And the thing is, I love morally gray characters,
Sounds
and
like you should read Dark Age.
I've read reviews of Dark Age, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna make me hate this whole thing even more. Don't they do horrifically violent things? Like,
Oh yeah.
Have you read the original trilogy? They do horrifically violent things there too.
yeah, do they do horrifically violent things to babies though?
Well, who are you? Here, I'll write something in the chat.
I mean, I know they do very, very violent things in the original trilogy. I just feel like, the thing is, I haven't read Dark Age, right? I've only read Iron Gold, but I saw some reviews and I'm like, well, dang. Which that's not the reason I don't want to pick up that one. I just truly was like, the way I feel about the original trilogy is starting to go downhill, and I love that original trilogy, so I don't want my feelings to change. So I just have to pretend. It doesn't exist.
So back to the original question though, why did you like the first book more than the second book?
Just
I-
Sorry,
What,
I just saw the
Regina?
chat. I just saw
That would have been sick though. Maybe that's what was happening with book 6. And Pierce Brown was like, you know what? This is too dark even for me.
That's why
I
you
gotta
scrapped
start
that
over."
manuscript.
Yeah.
Gone too far.
Again, that's not the reason I'm not reading it. I'm just anyway.
Oh my
But
God.
that's the way you worded
I-
it. Pretty funny. To answer the original question though, I just feel like the second. What are you doing, Ellen?
He's
He's
acting
making
out within the
kebabs.
chat.
What?
He's
He's
making
acting out within the
kebabs.
chat.
All one person at a time.
He's acting out what's in the chat.
Oh, I see.
He's
it.
making kebabs.
Yeah, I see that now.
I don't know what he's doing now. That was weird.
Then he's eating
Is that
them.
eating- Are you
Alan,
eating corn?
Anyway, so I'm gonna try to concentrate. I just feel like there's far more emotional. I know I say it all the time, but I feel like the emotional pull of the beginning of the first one was much stronger. And then like the only emotional thing really in book 2, I think we said this last time, is something that Leanna and I, with the people we buddy read Red Rising with, like we all predicted the like sad thing that the character Darrow finds out
Yeah.
about. And I'm like, we all already knew. We knew that as soon as we started the first one. So like that wasn't sad. Like it was sad, but we already kind of saw it coming, so it wasn't a surprise. We're like, I mean, what else could it have been?
See, I would have thought the very beginning of Red Rising book 1, I felt like that was just like there to set up the story. I didn't feel like it was emotionally impactful at all. I was just like, yeah, I mean,
I think
Yeah. You
I
guys
that's
don't
like the
care
kick in
for
the
it well
butt.
enough.
Like, get going. Go on your
yeah,
quest.
I know a lot of people don't love it. I think that part of the reason I like
Go
it
on
so
your
much
killing spree.
because
Become the monster that Elle will hate.
Here I go murdering again.
there's like a theme that the beginning of Red Rising hits that is like almost always going to get me, which is like what's more important to you as an individual? Is it like the good of society, or is it like the laying low to protect those you love? And if you can tap into that well, then like usually I'm pretty intrigued, and I feel like he did at the beginning of Red Rising. So I felt really for the character in that regard. I know a lot of people don't like it for a certain trope. Man, it's hard to talk about this without spoiling things. There's a certain trope a lot of people
Yes.
I can't even say it. That a lot of people take issue with, and I'm like, well, I mean, sometimes those kinds of characters die. Like, I don't, it depends on how it's done. I get if people feel
for me,
that
it
way.
doesn't bother me because that very thing you're talking about is like the whole, like the seed for where this whole series came from. Like that very thing, because it's the Greek story of Antigone that inspired Pierce Brown to write Red Rising at all. And that is the part of it that is like Antigone. And so like, that was always going to be part of it.
Except that it's not. Antigone is freaking like, that's not what happens to Antigone.
Okay, but like, I think I've explained to you before why Antigone made him go through this thought process that inspired Red Rising.
Sure, but Alex, please remember last week, Alex, we were getting crap for a series that we liked that does this exact same thing.
No,
That was the only thing that book did.
It was not okay. No, I know, but we're just talking about this specific thing. It was not okay in that book, but it is okay here. And I believe I argued, it was me on this very platform that argued that sometimes it is okay.
And I don't think in that, our personal opinion is, yeah, sometimes it is done differently and sometimes
I'm
it's
checking
not.
the record.
Oh my god.
Here, hold
Yes.
on. So we'll just mute Alan for a second. Just kidding, Alan. No, for sure. Sometimes, but like there's more nuance.
And everyone
as
has
to
a
why.
different opinion on when it works and when it doesn't work. Everyone has different preferences and
Well, I think most of
understanding.
the time when people disagree about stuff, it's because like it's all in the execution. Like I can't think of anything, and I don't want to say there is nothing, but I can't think of anything that I would ever say that I will absolutely never ever approve of being in a book. It makes it's all just how the author handled the thing, and I will take issue with how they went about handling the thing.
It's like every time somebody talks about a trope, there's always a little asterisk of like, well, this trope isn't always bad. Like sometimes this trope is done well. It's always it's the execution or the personal preference or like why this particular thing doesn't work. And the other aspect to Trader's Blade, the book that we're talking about here, is
The rest of the series is significantly better.
well, and the concept in question, like that character doesn't really exist in the book. If that makes any sense.
Sure it does.
Sounds
Sure does.
facetious.
Sure it does. Okay.
Sounds fake, Alan.
You're fake.
I just said, did you guys all read? No, Alex, you haven't read Fireborn, have you?
Leanna hated it.
That brought up before, I think on the last one, but no, I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
Leanna hated Fireborn.
I did not.
Leanna gave it 2 stars.
You know who doesn't like
I
Fireborn?
gave it the least amount of stars.
Alan, I thought you were the arbiter of truth.
Alan.
Yeah.
You know
What
who
are all
doesn't
these
like
lies
Fireborn?
that
The
you're
guy that
spreading?
commented on
I
Shoshana's
gave it
video.
3.
The guy that commented on Shoshana's video is just like, I'm glad I could watch your videos and not have to listen to Elle talk about Fireborn again.
Yeah.
Shoshana brought it up.
I brought it up.
Now Shoshana's talking about it all the time.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if we talked about it before.
What is Fireborn?
I was
I've
thinking
never-
most of us
I don't
read
know.
it, but did we talk about it last time? I don't know.
I think
We
it
did
probably
not.
got brought
We did
up.
not.
I think we mentioned it briefly because
Which
Alan
Fireborn is
said
it?
that I'm currying favor with a larger booktuber, and that's why I gave Fireborn 4 stars. And
Did I
he's
say
a
that?
smaller
That sounds like
booktuber,
me.
so I gave his books 2 stars.
I am
Leanna?
the queen of YA books, and I
That's true.
only
Yes.
like adult
Yes.
books by
And
Sanderson.
since Leanna only likes like YA books like Ember in the Ashes,
And The Wolf, yeah,
Leanna,
and Joe Abercrombie. And
I have no
the Wind.
recollection of saying that, but I believe that I did. That sounds literally like something I would say.
Oh, and by the way, if that person's watching, just so you know, we all had a good laugh at your comments. So thank you for the entertainment.
So, what is this book?
Fireborn,
That's the one that Elle loves.
Fireborn is a
Dragons.
YA book where the villains and characters have like some
Fire
nuance.
Alan,
No,
you
yeah.
liked Fireborn better than me, so apparently you're the king of YA. You just like YA books.
They have,
You only
okay,
like
so-
YA. It's all you
so-
talk about.
So, Alex, they have nuance. The bad guys have a reason for doing things. There is no instant love upon seeing people, even after they've been mean to them for a long time. The compound is not porous like a sponge.
Alan, I just need you to know that Elias and Laya are endgame, not Kieran, whatever that guy's name is. He's nothing. Don't worry about him.
Keenan? Tina's
That
the
guy.
worst.
I like how
Helene is
your
good. I like
description-
Helene though.
Your description is that it's not an ember in the ashes. That's
Alex, it's
a
the freaking
backhanded
1917. It's the 1917 October Revolution where the freaking Bolsheviks are in charge.
Okay,
but
but also
dragons.
it's two characters sitting there and thinking about how much they care about each other and all their memories they've had together for the whole.
read ACOTAR, Deshauna.
Because that's fun. It was fun and just like do whatever. That was not fun. I was like, oh my god, we get it. You're moping around. You're sad.
I feel like I'm watching my parents argue right now because I have no idea what's going on.
That's all Feyre does for the first third of the book.
No, but in Fireborn, I didn't hate it. I gave it three stars, 3.25.
Oh no! According to Alan, if you give something 3 stars, you hate him, and
Well,
you
then
did
I guess
it to
I
hurt
hated
him.
it. But yeah, I was just
You hate him?
bored. They were like, I was just
Only
in
for
their
dark
head,
stars because you're a
and
monster.
it was like my same thing with Dreams of Gods and Monsters or whatever the frick.
I don't
When
know
it's
what that
like,
is.
it's a little melodramatic.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
very melodramatic. Like in their head,
ACOTAR's not melodramatic.
no, that's just dramatic and like romantic and dramatic, like angst.
So hold on,
and stuff.
Shoshana. So when Amarantha is screaming because there are exclamation points in the dialogue when she say you don't love him.
Yeah, it's
Say
ridiculous.
you don't
Did I
love
just
him.
say? Did I
You don't
just
think
say?
that's- Is that not
ex-
melodramatic?
I just said it's dramatic. I'm talking about the melodrama of the like, oh, I'm pining with, oh, my memories of him. And then the next chapter is him being like, my memories of her. Oh, it's when she was sad and I helped her and she helped
You know
me.
what? That's
And
fair.
oh my God. And blah, blah, blah. And then another chapter of her
Wait,
being like,
no,
"Back with
I
your
need
kids."
to all acknowledge this moment where Alan just said that that's fair, that he conceded.
Shoshana, because
I don't want
Shoshana's
anyone to miss that.
Because Shoshana's reasonable. Shoshana gets the benefit of the doubt. You do not.
Oh, wow.
I think that part of it is that their like relationship is so rooted in their trauma, and from what Sean and I talk about privately, like that's kind of a bummer to read. And she's like, they don't have any like fun, playful moments.
Yeah, there's no like banter ever. So I'm like, I get that you care about each other, but I don't care if you're together or not because
So
it
does
would
this book
be the
center
most
around the love
boring,
story?
sad relationship.
That's not really the plot. The plot is what happens after.
There's a bunch of
revolution.
political stuff, revolution, this and
That's
that.
You know
Yeah.
that is disdain, Shoshana says politics.
Yes.
I love political
Alex,
intrigue.
the concept is that one character is almost like an Anastasia character where they are alive in this like new government that killed their own family and they're kind of living in secret. And then another character, her family was killed by the previous royal, which would be his family, but they grew up in an orphanage together, best
So this is like
friends.
forbidden love.
No, not necessarily. It's more of like there's kind of this vibe of I'm pretty sure you're the like son of the family that killed my family, and he's like, I'm pretty sure my family killed your family, but like nobody ever talks about it.
Just think about it for chapters upon chapters.
But that's like their relationship. But
there's more to it.
The main plot is that the new person in power, like they believe in his way of government much more, but his way of government is essentially like communism. And so
His
there's
way of government is way better than old crap.
Alan really likes the character Atreus.
Yes, because
Anyway.
he has to make the tough decisions.
So
Do any of you
Alan
like
wasn't
this book?
actually rooting for the protagonist when he read Fireborn.
The-
He was just
like
there
the-
for the government.
the setup though is like, is this new form of government actually better than the previous
Yes.
ones? And
The
you start
answer
to
is
see
yes.
like
I'm
you start
answering
to
for you.
see Alan.
I
Alan.
can't tell if Alan's being serious or if he's
I'm
doing
being
the thing he
serious.
was doing last week where he was
No, I'm
like,
being serious.
you have to rule with an iron fist.
No,
Dead serious.
he
I am
truly
being
was
serious.
like,
Atreus
I
is
love
the
this
hero.
character.
Atreus is the protagonist. I told the author that.
I'm getting like Israfil vibes from our A Time of Dread chat.
Hey, Alex, it's similar,
Good.
but
So that's
we
what
can't talk about-
that's the idea.
it's good. I like the political stuff, and the romance didn't bother me like it does in Ember in the
Yeah,
Ashes.
because it's barely there, and because they never do anything about it, and they just sit there thinking about each other all the time.
Shauna
I never
wants,
do anything about it.
Shauna
Everyone
wants
else
to
is
see
Shauna,
it.
have you never
Shauna
pined?
wants to steam.
No,
That's just-
I
have
haven't.
You've never pined?
No, you just go tell someone you like them.
Okay,
No one
Shauna,
acts
you're-
like that.
oh my gosh, that's no. No, you pine.
No.
You sit in your room and you pine about it.
No.
Shoshana,
Wait,
Shoshana
Alan,
had-
then why don't you like Name of the Wind? Because that's all Quoth ever does.
I have never read it and don't want to.
Shoshana is like the most confident person. Like
Not always.
you basically sent me like first pictures to be like, look how hot I am.
That's because it was in
Listen,
the
Karen.
context of the conversation. We were talking about something.
We were
No,
talking
but
about
I
how
just,
hot you are.
I mean, yeah, but that's not why I just go up to people if I like them. It's because I'm like, well, why not? Whatever. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna say
Yeah.
no.
But
And,
like, you have to have a certain level of confidence. I
I
feel
can't.
The worst
I
that
just
could
can't
happen is they'll
resonate
say
with a
no, and then you'll
character.
die of shame.
No,
That
you'll
fear,
be like,
she
well,
doesn't have that fear.
no, because then you'll just be like, well, they weren't for me. Then they don't see how cool I
See,
am.
this is exactly why the like
like
pining type of romances don't work.
Listen,
for
I don't
Shoshana.
mind like angst. I like when there's like angst and like, because so much fantasy romance
so
has that
annoying.
like
but I don't
meh.
understand
Angst
the
is the
difference
worst.
between
I don't
angst
like
and
the sad sack.
I love it.
No fun. They didn't have any flirty banter. No, not even like a fun conversation. No jokes. Like
Corbin
nothing
gets
between
pretty,
them other
Corbin
than
gets pretty like mopey in like Valor.
yeah.
Corbin?
You know
He
how
was
many
not my
members of her
favorite.
family are no longer with us?
That's fair.
He was not my favorite. I don't know.
No,
I
he
just
wasn't
like
my
there's a
favorite.
romance. I just don't like the romance if it's like it seems like you guys would be really serious and boring together. Like I don't. Why
But
do
you
I
like
want
Wuthering Heights? They are so serious and boring together.
romance? That's tragedy and just
She's
mess.
got you, Shoshana, on Wuthering
No,
Heights.
no.
That's all just like
She
moping
only
and
has me if
pining
I
and not
consider-
communicating.
Dead
No,
to
she
rights.
only has me if I consider Wuthering Heights to be a romance, which I absolutely do not.
Well, yeah.
It's not at all. It's a
But it's still a
tragedy.
story about people being mopey and sad and pining and not having banter. Like it's
And
still
they're
about
on
that.
and they're on the
No.
Hold on.
moors, which
They
makes
have
it even.
excitement.
According to
They have drama.
Goodreads, 5,237 users have it slotted under romance.
Yeah, they're idiots. That's wrong. It's not a romance.
But
It's
Shoshana,
not.
Wait,
No,
wait,
Shoshana,
It inspired the greatest romance of the 21st century, Twilight.
Shoshana,
Yeah.
don't the brother and sister like aren't they together?
Oh my god.
look,
Shoshana
Yeah.
hates that.
It's not romance. That's why. Like it's not at all.
Well,
And it's
well-
just mess. But yeah, they don't have like fun jokey times, but it's like exciting and interesting and like just drama. Like there's drama. It's not good. It's not like something you'd want in real life, but it's at least fun to read about. For me, Fireborn, their romance was not fun to read about. I was like, okay, you guys, I get it. You have trauma together, cool.
but that was not. That's not the whole book.
I
Most
know.
of
I'm
the
saying
book is
that
not
aspect.
that.
That's why I
It's
didn't give it
that
like
and
3
politics.
stars.
There's
That's
just
right.
Shauna's other favorite thing.
You gave it 3 stars. Which
Yeah,
is,
I gave it
3
3.
stars-
It was
3
fine.
stars is fine. 3 stars is
I
fine.
was like, it was cool.
Oh,
I
is
might
it
read the second
Alan?
book.
not for
3
guards,
stars.
Leanna.
Not guards.
I'm trying to think like what adult fantasy books have I read that you guys don't like?
Jade City.
That's the opposite. I didn't like. You guys keep finding ones.
Oh, I thought you said
didn't
that you didn't like
No, what are ones I've read that you guys don't like? But
The
yes, I
Way
am.
of
Mistborn.
I mean, any Sanderson for Leanna. I feel like most of our Sanderson opinions align pretty closely, though.
Yeah. Disliking Lift.
Yeah, I didn't care for that, but I haven't read any other Sanderson, mostly because I didn't like Mistborn that much.
Oh,
So I was like,
I mean, I like Peter Schwab.
oh, yeah.
We talked about Shows of
We talked
Magic.
about
but-
Schwab last week.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about like Vicious and Vengeful.
I
I've
love
never read it
Vicious.
because I got
I love
turned off.
Vicious and Vengeful too. Leanna and I are so, aside from the wolf, sadly, I feel like we often have the
The
same.
wolf can be your way of kings.
That's fair.
Vengeance and Vengeance, a duology.
We are
Yeah.
There's a third one coming out.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
The freaking duet. What was it? Savage Song.
The Savage Song and Our Dark
I didn't
Duet.
like
So
that.
what comes after
I like
Darker
that.
Shade of Magic?
What? The Dark
Conjuring
Shade
of Light?
Magic. That's a third one, and the Gathering of Shadows.
Oh, Gathering Shadows. Yeah.
Okay.
The third one was no bueno.
I'm just like, I don't know. I think a lot of times we agree on, like, you guys don't dislike a lot of the ones I like.
Yeah,
I don't
not
think we have
like
enough
other stuff that
crossover.
we've.
I think
At
that's
least-
true.
At least
That's what
for
I'm saying.
for me right now, because I'm going through like Dresden Files and Wheel of Time
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
So like that's a good chunk of stuff that I'm reading.
I don't hate
I want
Dresden.
to know why Elle is struggling to finish Royal Assassin.
What?
I haven't even started it. I'm just like
Well, there's the struggle. She hasn't even opened
I
the
thought
book
you said
yet.
you had like finished
That-
it or started it a bit.
I might
Robin,
wonder.
is that the second one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah, I
best.
don't think I'm ever going to continue that series.
I'm just
Why
I
not?
know I need to.
Because the
But
first book was boring.
Jess has not helped. Being friends with Jess, she's like, Miss Robin Hobb talked about things endlessly. And she's like, and I don't care. And I'm
It's
like,
so
"I don't
good.
care."
Royal
remember
Assassin
in-
is so good.
Royal
What was
Assassin is such a good book.
And like Assassin's Quest is good, but Royal Assassin was still better.
I do need to read that one.
That first book, there was a whole chunk where there's like some, I don't remember the details because it was a while ago that we read it. But there was like a whole chunk of like some training crap that never
Mhm.
mattered. And just like, I was like, what, why did
But
we
it
do
does
all that?
matter.
That's not true at all.
It doesn't matter.
You
It
lied,
does
Shauna.
matter.
Read it smarter.
Boring. I was
I assume
bored.
you're talking about when he's in the tower with.
I
There
think
was like
so.
a whole
What if there isn't
class.
really
There
other
was
No,
like
yeah,
one-
there's a
Yeah.
part. I know what Deshaun's talking about. There's
There's
a
a
whole
whole bunch
class.
of people, and
Yeah.
they kept going, but then it like nothing ever happened.
Because
It's
it's not
important.
it's not literally a training sequence. It's him getting treated like crap the entire time. And
That too.
driven
was
Talk
the
about
point
like
of it.
emotional trauma. Elle should love it.
Yeah,
I
right.
know I should, but I don't because I just feel like
And there's like the cutest animal companion that has ever companioned as an
book
animal.
2, Night Eyes is the best.
Night Eyes is the best. I
He's
would
the
die
best
for
animal
Night Eyes.
companion ever.
did
I
any of you
don't
guys
know.
read Temeraire?
The what?
Temeraire.
Temeraire is
No, I
on
read
my list of in the quest of Flintlock Fantasy. Unfortunately, Angela, my friend Angela, who as like we kind of started this quest together, is not a huge fan of Novik. Didn't love. I think it was
Was Uprooted is
most recent
garbage.
one. No, it's the most recent one.
Is also garbage. Deadly Education.
That one. Yeah.
It's horrible.
And so Klaus and Katrina also didn't help because they literally just buddy read it and both rated it pretty low. But I mean, I don't care. Like one, because I know it's 9 books, but they're short, and being able to, get a 300-page book under your belt, that's a mass market paperback, which I just read much faster. And I don't anticipate them being like my most favorite books, but I do think I'll probably like
Have
them
fun.
just
Naomi
because I
Lovett
like
loves
Napoleon.
I only read the first one, but I brought it up because Temeraire is adorable.
It can't be as cute as Night Eyes. That's just like impossible.
I just want to say there are dragons on 100% of these covers of every book she's written.
Those ones, yeah, because they're. I mean, that's what they're.
Temeraire's a dragon.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It's the Napoleonic War with dragons, right?
Yeah. Yep.
If you want to read a magic Napoleonic War, you should read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
I
Or
DNS that.
I could read 300 pages of His Majesty's Dragon, or I could read 800 pages of your book.
The better
No.
book.
I
It's
got
too
like
long.
I think
I
I
don't
got
have- I don't have room for
20% into that before I was like, no,
Don't listen to
can't do it.
Jashana. It's great.
Has anybody read Piranesi? Like that's the huge
Yeah, I read
one right now
Piranesi.
that's pretty divisive. Did you hate
I
that?
hear
Leonard?
nothing
You love
but
it?
praise for it right now.
I thought Piranesi was fine.
I hear it's kind of artsy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm more annoyed that she wrote Piranesi because we've been waiting for years for the the follow-up spin-off to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I'm like, what? I heard another book was coming out by her, and I was like, no, it's something else. What is this? No, get back to writing the spin-off to Jonathan
It's
Strange
really
and Mr.
short.
Norrell.
Yeah, Piranesi isn't very long at all. I don't know. Just Piranesi is one of those books that I'm like, I don't. Exactly. I'm like, I don't think it lines up with my usual taste. I don't know, because I'm very basic most of the time. So, and that one sounds like very artsy and like interesting and stunning. And I'm like,
Sounds
It's
like
like in
something
a
I'd have
Goodreads
to
and,
like sit
everyone I'm
with
friends with gave
a
me 5.
literature class and like
Yeah.
analyze. I don't want to do that.
Piranesi is one that it seems in. And have any of you read The Seven Deaths of Evil in Hardcastle?
no, not yet.
Also
Okay, well,
did not
both
know
of those
anything.
books, and I won't say how or why, but both of those books were they seemed really intriguing, and the mystery that's going on, the question that you're asking throughout the book seems like you're like, oh, I really want to know the answer. But for both books, you find out the answer, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I liked it better when I didn't know.
That's how I felt about the 5th season. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
okay,
Deshauna,
that's good.
leave.
Because Leanna loves that book.
I know.
Deshauna, why is it terrible?
So okay, I want to reread it. I do because
No, stop
I read
it.
it.
It sucks.
in-
Why?
Keep it together.
Because I thought it was trying a little too hard to be like, look how smart and clever I am. And then the like twist, I was kind of like, oh, all right, I get, like, it felt like being purposefully confusing just for the sake of being like difficult and confusing. And then the twist, like, just to be like, look how much smarter I am than you. Like the book, not the author.
But okay, but I feel like it's mischaracterizing it to call it a twist because like it's not a twist in the way of like Shyamalan. It's just like
No.
it's sort of like a slow
Reveal.
building revelation that you're supposed to kind of arrive at with the end of the book, and you're like,
Yeah.
yep, that's
So,
yep.
But
I
it
feel like
felt like a lot of
I
build
feel
up
like-
of like, ooh, what's going on? What's going on? You don't know what's
Jesse
going
didn't
on.
really
You're
like-
confused.
Jesse didn't
You
Doesn't
don't
it
know
like
what's
randomly
going
go
on.
into like second person, or is it entirely in second person?
No,
No,
it's there's
there's
3 POVs and only one of them is in second person.
Yeah.
I like
That's
Leanna
weird.
how you basically described a plot twist. You have these expectations, and then like there's this slow build up to this revelation. Like that's
And
But
then
it's
it's
just
not
like
that.
it's not, or it's like it's a slow building like
I don't think that's
realization
slow.
where like
Yeah.
it's not like like all of a sudden you turn the page and you're like bombshell didn't, oh wow, that like I didn't see that coming. It's like you've
That's
gradually like built up like you can start to kind of guess this and you can start to kind of realize it, and then by the time like the book confirms it, you're like, yeah,
Yeah, I
Well-
just felt like it was too much build up for
all
like.
I'll say to that,
feeling like,
Leanna,
oh,
is
okay.
maybe that's just a you experience because I think there are a lot of people that are like, wait, what?
Yeah, I
that
kept hearing everyone talk about the plot. Oh my god, this is a twist like crazy, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm excited. Let me check it out. And then I just was like, all right, I get it. Cool, you're smart. But I also, like I said, I do want to reread it because I think I also got just like really turned off by the second person point of view, and like now that I know it going into it, I feel like I could, because there were elements of it I did like. I didn't give it like 2 stars or anything. I don't think.
I need to read it this year, and I'm a little nervous because I really, really, really don't care for second person point of view.
Yeah,
I
you
do.
DNF'd it.
Yes.
didn't you? Yeah, we were trying to buddy. It was our first book we were trying to buddy read.
I feel like it's like telling me how to put together a piece of furniture. You know, like you are gonna do this. And I'm
I
like,
sincerely like putting furniture together, so
How do we know?
That's why you like the second person point of view.
What's a book
But-
Alex likes that we can trash on?
we already trashed Kings of the Wild.
Rage of Dragons.
Oh, you're right. Rage of-
Okay, what's one that isn't the same conversation that we've had like 878
I'm sorry,
times?
now I just have to bring it up. I brought it up in our video the other day too.
You bring it
DNF
up at
one.
whenever
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, and I think didn't you were like, where's Alex to say only 5
I was
minutes in?
me. Yeah, that was me. I was like, if Alex were here, he'd be like, we just got to 5 minutes in. You're already bringing it up.
I don't know. I mean, you
Sorry.
could look at my Goodreads if you want to see what I've read.
The
But
thing is,
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm
Alex.
probably boring.
I haven't read a lot of the stuff you've read.
I say this, as a friend, but what don't you like? I feel like you
let's
like
see.
half the books you read.
I think
Well,
Alex
okay, so here's the
knows
thing.
what he like likes and only
Yeah,
reads
yeah.
it.
So one, it's some of that. It's mostly that because I didn't read for such a long time, I've been picking up like the most recommended things.
And you
And
are
reading-
continuing in series that you know you
Yeah,
like
so
right
like
now.
Wheel of Time is long as shit. So I'm getting through it and I'll be done with it soon. Like Dresden, I really like, but that's also very long. I read the entire Cosmere last year. So that was however many Sanderson books. It was a lot. But the books that I have not liked, let's scroll.
Ender's Game.
I didn't like Edge Dancer. I hated that. I hated Elantris.
I
gave both of those
haven't finished the
1 star.
launches. I haven't technically DNF'd it, but I am not doing
It's
good
so
with it.
boring and nothing happens. And that was one of the worst audiobooks that I ever tried to listen to.
Yes.
Elantris,
audio-
like when I first
Oh
picked
my
it up,
God.
like the prologue or whatever, like the very beginning, I was like, "Ooh, this is
Yeah.
dark. I am
That's a
into
good
this." And then
prologue.
as soon as the prologue ended and we got to the main plot, I was like, "Oh my god, it's boring."
Prologue it's funny. It's like it's one of Sanderson's best, I think, openings.
Yeah, the prologue's great. And
And
the entire premise of it
I
sounded
feel
really
tricked
cool.
by the prologue. I was like,
I
"Ooh,
need us
actually,
to
I like
spend
this."
I need us to spend a second though talking about that audiobook because it sounds like a game show host.
It's bad.
Railden did this, and you're just like, oh geez, okay. Anyway,
Funny enough, because I read so many Cosmere, I actually don't like a good amount of the Cosmere because I have my lowest rated books, that's just what I'm going off of, Mistborn Secret History, which we've talked about that. And then all of Era 2 is just like...
you also didn't like it?
Secret History?
Yeah.
No, I hate that, but I hate that it exists.
What? How do I not know this?
We've talked about it before.
Why do I not remember?
I don't know.
I get very confused whenever people talk about that book because I just think they're talking about Donna Tartt's The Secret History, and then I'll have like two different conversations going at the same time when at no point are we talking about the same thing.
So all I'll say about Mistborn Secret History is I hated the entire fact that it exists because of what it does to the entire trilogy. I hate it.
Yep.
It's one of those instances of like pulling the curtain back and like, look what's actually happening. And I was just like, why?
That's right. I remember this now because I'm like, we're Cosmere twins because you also don't like Edge Dancer and then you don't like that one. And I feel like everybody likes one of the two of those. And I'm like, yes, that's right.
The only other, I hated Saint's Blood, which is book 3 of the Great Coats, because again, that's when the series became really weird and like way too like religious in that world where it's like it became really dumb how it got the saints involved and like it was really dumb.
Do you also not like that one?
Alan probably likes it a lot.
I talked with Sebastian Dextel yesterday. Actually, I had a video thing conference video call talk video. I recorded a video.
Talk video.
I recorded a video talking to the man, and we talked about Saint's Blood and how a lot of people don't. It's not a lot of people's favorites. And he's like, I get that. he's like, I can't tell people what they.
Again, it was one of those situations where like he did something totally different, almost of like what he leaned into in that series. I was just like, really, this is so dumb. And then it came back around for book 4, and I was like, okay, we're good again. That was really good. But yeah, Ender's Game, I trash it more than I probably actually hate it. But the more people praise it around me, I'm just like, no, stop. Like, anger arises in me because I'm like, this book is so overrated. It doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, well, Ender's not a Gary Stu. It's like, yeah, he is. He's perfect at everything. They're like, yeah, well, he's the most intelligent person in the world. I'm like, he's 6. Why is he the savior? A 6-year-old boy is the savior of humanity.
His entire family is like.
Yeah, and then his sister and his brother are also the best geniuses ever.
Peter. His brother, like his older brother, ends up literally.
He controls the internet.
He controls the world later.
You want to unmute yourself.
You're literally describing Tao.
Oh, stop.
Other than the smart stuff, but being the best at everything, like Gary Stu and like. Tao.
No, see, here's the difference. Rage of Dragons, Tao is like the center of the story in this village against like this other tribe. Ender Wiggin is like the savior of humanity against this alien threat, and he's the genius that can do it all.
Just jealous. You just wish you were Ender.
Oh, wait, is this like grown-up Artemis Fowl? Because I've never read it.
No, but like in this world, like these kids.
It's never explained. First of all, it's never explained.
A whole bunch of genius kids, so it's clearly in the genetics somewhere. They're clearly breeding kid geniuses somewhere. They have to because it's a bunch of genius kids. It's just Ender is the most genius.
Are they getting them from the Promised Neverland?
And it doesn't say that Ender is the most genius. In fact, I think it's implied that Peter is smarter than him. Peter's just cruel, and
because
so
Peter's a literal psychopath.
Wait, yeah. Alan, do you like Ender's Game?
I do, but I read it when I was in the 9th grade, not as a grown person.
See, so here's the thing, is most people who tell me that they love it say that they haven't read it in 30 years because they read it when it came out as a child. I'm like, well, of course you love it because nostalgia.
Wait, but I hear that about Wheel of Time too, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
I like books 1 and 2, Alex, and I agree. Like compare, so it's the whole thing with like I don't love Lord of the Rings and I don't love Star Wars. Mostly because
everybody unsubscribes.
It's fine.
The two things that you definitely have to love.
My problem is like I get it. Like I get what they did for the genre. Like it was new when it came out, but I've just read more interesting stuff since then. And so that's kind of where I am with Ender's Game. Like
things have gotten better since that book.
Yeah, I liked Ender's Game when I read it, and I liked book 2 because it's completely different.
Speaker is more interesting to me than book 1. I would rather read Speaker because what I've been told about it is it sounds like it's more interesting than Ender's
Oh yeah,
Game.
and it's completely different. I liked it in a completely different way. So if you didn't like Ender's Game, there's a chance you'd like Speaker. I thought
Alex,
Xenocide and Children of the Mind was bad. I didn't like those. What?
Alex, which one is it that you went to pick up the second book and it like started where they were almost like sexualizing a kid or something? And
So it was the Bean story. So he did
Ender's
Ender's
Shadow.
Shadow, which is written from Bean's perspective, basically during Ender's Game, where the first like chapter, he's 4 years old, and they have like 13-year-old like prostitutes walking the streets, and like they kill somebody, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Like I just don't want to read this. It was like as many like. I get it for like some of the stuff that's in Ender's Game. It's like, okay, it was written in what, like the late 60s, early 70s. I was like, I get why some of this is here, but some of it also I was just like, that didn't need to be in there. And then I read Ender's Shadow and I was just like, nope.
I'm just thinking about Q from Q and TG when they did their It video, and he's like, there's just some things you don't put in a book.
Yeah.
You just
So,
gotta
like,
apply it.
Well, because I'm reading my first Stephen King book. I'm reading Salem's Lot. And I fully expect, like, I knew what this word meant, but what did he call it? He doesn't say boobies. He says, like, jahoobies. And I was like, what? He literally wrote the word jahoobies. It's Jahoobies. It's this, like, old perverted man, like, staring at his secretary, and he says something about her jahoobies. And I was like, did this man literally just invent the word jahoobies? And apparently he does it in several of his books.
Invents words or uses that word?
No, uses the word jahoobies. I was like, okay.
Jesse, by the way, Jesse got back to me saying Fate of the Fallen was all caps so bad.
But why?
She didn't say.
It doesn't need explanation. It's
not that
so
bad. It's just like a dumb. It's just like a dumbed down version of a fantasy book.
Yeah.
It's a really simple quest where the main character just does things and he has no idea why, and he just has powers. And he literally in the text is like, I don't know how I can do this. It's like, exactly.
I think
he does stuff.
I could be wrong, but I think there was something in it that Jesse thought was maybe not great toward women, like the way they talked or something, unless I'm misremembering what she said.
I don't remember.
Do you remember there being like any female?
I mean, all the characters are so shallow. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It's
Those
basically
woman-shaped cardboard cutouts.
No, it's literally like the main character,
All the
like picking up people as he goes, like on their quest, and he's the only character really, and everyone else is kind of like an NPC almost, just like, here's your quest, or like, here's the item that you needed. And it's just,
Yeah.
it was just like a dumb fun, like 400-page, simple, not taken seriously fantasy book.
It almost sounds like if it had been a video game, the plot would have been perfectly acceptable. Some video games give you like the bare minimum.
It's a very simple plot. I mean,
Or it sounds like it might work if it was like a TV show that had a very charismatic, amusing actor that could like make you
like carry
into it.
Yeah.
Other books that I haven't liked though were like some of the Wheel of Time books, but it was part of the slog, so I mean, they were trash.
I still don't understand that. Why?
What? Like why it exists?
Yourself? No, why do
because
people
I know that
subject
because the first like 6 books were really good, and then it's like 7 was okay, and then 8 to 10 were like garbage, and then 11 to 14 are supposed to be like fantastic.
I would give up.
I just feel like who was the first person to like push through to find out that the next books were better? Like that's if I know that, if like someone else has gone through it and can tell me that, oh yeah, like I agree those are bad, but the last ones are good, then like I might push through. But like, who was the first to like not be like, well, this series was good, but it got bad, so I gave up. Like that should be everyone's response.
It's a lot to get through, but
I think a lot of people read it as they were coming out, and then so you're like, oh man, I mean that one was okay, but then like you're excited about the next one, and so I think it was like they already enjoyed all the ones previously. They were excited for the next ones, and then it's like, well, I mean, we're getting close to the end. That's kind of the vibe, I think. But I mean. It's funny because I hear a lot of Wheel of Time fans, like I know Bookworm has said this too, that like they feel like they can talk about this, but that other people, they're like, excuse me, how dare you? As if it's a sibling. Like you can say mean things to your sibling, but nobody else can kind of thing.
Yeah, I just don't even want to start it.
Like
'Cause
I can't, like I don't understand. Like if three books of that length
Mhm.
are so bad,
you know what I would do if I
Why?
liked
Why?
those first 6
Like,
Because
books?
so the main issue, and so Wheel of Time, like super fans will disagree and say that it's all like worth reading and it's all character
the
building and
slog
stuff.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a scale of like the slog is the worst thing ever written, and the slog doesn't exist, and there's lots of people in between. For me, it's like I really loved, for the most part, books 1 through 6. 5 was like okay, and then 7 I thought was pretty good. But what happens is when you start book 6, it ends on such a crazy high note of the series that it's like the biggest epic, most like crazy thing that happens. And then the first like 100 pages of the next book is people like not even necessarily reacting to it, but almost like talking about it. And it just like, it's sort of a letdown. And then the plot just kind of diverges because Robert Jordan just decided to like focus on a bunch of characters that aren't like the main cast, which are the only ones that I really care about. Cause there's like 2,000 named characters or whatever throughout the entire series. And when you look up like, because there's all kinds of like fan sites and stuff that exist that'll say like the percentage that each character is in each book and how many POVs there are. And there's like, as the books go on, it gets up to like 40 and 50 like POVs, like unique POVs. But then in parentheses next to it, it'll say like there's actually 300 POVs because like that's how many different characters you're in the head of. So he's like spreading everything out so much that like books 7 to 10 focus so little on the main plot of getting to like the final battle. And you don't spend a lot of time with Rand, Matt, Perrin, like the main cast. It's entirely different people, and he's introducing more characters as it goes on.
Already
It's
felt
like,
that way about Feast for Crows,
so I'm like
but it
10
wasn't
books
like
in.
300.
Yeah, but I'm like, stop giving me new characters to pretend to care about. And then even Sanderson does it because Sanderson takes over in book 11 and introduces a new character that becomes like a main character. It's just like you just keep giving me more characters. I'm like, I don't care about 95% of them. I just want the main like 10 to 15 that I know.
And there's a whole thing, if I'm not mistaken, where one of the main characters, a lot of people don't like the plot line that they get later because they're just looking for somebody for a long time.
It's Perrin.
I feel like
He
if I were to read
it's fun.
I would just skip
Perrin's
it.
plot goes from going really being a very interesting POV to chasing after somebody for 4 books. And it's literally his entire POV. And it's like, oh my God, this could have ended 4 books ago. Stop.
Yeah, this sounds terrible.
Deshaun is really convinced.
Yeah, I literally would
I
just
think if I was
read a
reading this as
Wikipedia.
it came out, I would have quit. But knowing that it exists and that I could like listen to an audiobook and not much is going to change because the plot doesn't move that much in those books, I could just get through it and get back to the good books. And like,
just look up a synopsis, man. That's
I mean,
what I would do. That's what I would do. I'd be like, all right, what happens is that I need to know. Cool.
Yeah.
So I am curious, Alan, since you said, like, why do people keep going? You don't like certain books in Malazan, right? Malazan?
Yeah.
But you kept going.
That's correct. I did quit the series 3 different times. That's true. Like first time I read Malazan, I stopped in the 3rd one, Memories of Ice. And I don't really know why. No, the first time I stopped, I was reading these. I first read these when I went to Japan in 2008. Because I remember I was sitting in a freaking one of the onsen, like the baths, reading my Dead House Gates, which is weird. You're not supposed to bring books in, but I did anyway. And then I think I stopped, and then I made it through the 3rd book, and then I quit. And then the next time, I made it all the way to book 5. That's right. Okay, so it was. I made it to book 3, and then I quit at book 5, and then I quit like at the first 100 pages of book 8, which is my least favorite. And then this 4th time, I made it all the way through. And it was never like I never really put them down. Like I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to read them anymore. And more like I got very busy doing something else, and then like spent too long away from them and completely forgot what was happening. And so was like, well, I don't have time for that. And just left them alone for years until I like forgot the other books. And then I went back and read them. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's not 14 books. It's only 10.
They're long though, right?
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Sean is here to give his thoughts on Wheel of Time.
I thought it was just gonna be Leviathan wakes again.
Nothing happens for entire books.
It's true.
Big issue. Book 10 is
Literally nothing happens in Book 10 until the very last chapter.
very rough.
That's
Very, very, very rough.
And then Perrin's plotline is the other thing.
Oh yeah, Perrin.
You can't say who he's searching for, but
He searches for someone for like 4 books.
4 books. Yeah, they killed his POV. He was my favorite character, and then I was like, oh, he's doing this now for 2,000 pages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta find him.
It was bad.
The anti Liam Neeson.
Hey, but so we'll ask. We should ask Sean too. Why did you keep going?
why did you? Yeah, we were talking about what keeps them.
Probably my brother. I mean, my brother read them, and it'd be like, "Oh, I get so good at the end," and then I'd get to the end, I'm like, "That was fine."
Didn't you read them as they were coming out?
That's true. That's true. And he was crazy because he would like try to remember everything that happens. He'd like reread the one before.
And he would reread like the whole series sometimes before.
See, I'm never gonna be that person.
That's what I did.
If that's your thing, like more power to you. But people that read like Wheel of Time on an annual basis, I'm just like, why? You already know what happens.
I'm not I used to be. My buddy and I have read the Song of Ice and Fire books, as they were coming out, and we would always reread the ones before the new ones came out. I can't do. I don't have time in my life to do that anymore. So
Well, that one you don't have to worry about anymore because there's no books coming out.
Because it's never coming out again. So, by the way, in October we're reading.
I want to say something. I really appreciate, Leanna. You're very courteous muting. When you don't have any. It's very very.
It's mostly because there's sirens and traffic here, so like I'm like,
I thought just like, oh.
I feel like I never hear any of these sirens that you talk about.
That's because I mute myself.
Very courteous.
It's not courteous.
Alan, he told Leanna that somebody's going to come burn all her books, that he's going to send someone to
I
burn.
retracted.
So that's why all the sirens, they're preemptively.
I retracted that, though. I retracted it.
That's good. I'm glad you retracted.
No, I mean, if I was reading Wheel of Time, I think I didn't like it enough that by book 8, I probably would have quit. If I was reading it as they came out, I would have been like, seriously.
Did you finish all of them?
I'm on. I haven't started yet. I'm about to read The Gathering Storm. Yeah.
Oh, things actually happen once Sanderson takes over. It's amazing.
That's what a lot of people say.
But you thought that the ending was a little underwhelming in some ways, right?
I think everything about the ending is underwhelming, but
that's a hot take.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
anyway.
I don't want to spoil it.
I'm not sure. Did Joshana say why she had to leave?
She has
her cousin coming over.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure she said that.
Also, she hates us and she was bored.
She's like, ugh, Wheel of Time, gross.
She did say all of those things.
But anyway, this is fun. Hopefully nobody thinks that we actually dislike each other.
I don't think we got mad enough in this episode.
Hopefully nobody goes to each other's channels and talks trash about one of us to the other.
The real problem is I can't get wound up because Leanna and I haven't had our live show where she talks about my books that she trashed on Goodreads, and I don't want to preempt that. So otherwise, there would be more of this.
There's also the fact that you haven't read the books that I assigned. So
Leanna, I'm working on it. I don't understand why I have to keep saying that. I'm working on it. I don't read fast.
Wait, if you have to repeat that, you're also repeating to her, though, that her book, like, she keeps trashing your books.
It's because she does.
Right. So if you insist on having the same conversation over and over again, I'm more than willing to accommodate that.
No, because I'm talking about how you trashed my books, and
I'm talking about how you haven't read the books that I told you to read.
I know I'm not done reading them. We'll talk about the ratings when I'm done. You are done and have rated them poorly.
Aren't you glad she's honest? Like, she respects your friendship enough. She knows, like, she's you can handle it.
She's hostile.
I see. That's the only way that a friend could be to possibly dislike a book that you like.
one of them would have been fine, and I wouldn't have had a problem. But the problem is when you rank 3 of the 4 in the toilet, it's hostile.
How is 3 stars in the toilet?
For guards, Alex, back me up. Alex has my back on
I
that.
love
According to
guards.
Goodreads, 3
So-
stars
Who
means
else
you
does?
like it.
Sir Terry Pratchett. I'm sorry, are you knighted? I didn't think so.
That has nothing to do with the
It
book.
has everything to do with it, Elle. He
So
is a knight
you
of
like-
the British Empire.
You're accusing Leanna of trying to suck up to me. It sounds like you're trying to suck up to a knight.
I'm accusing her of being a traitor to king and country.
But that's not my king.
So, what did you actually not like about guards?
I'm an American,
No,
Alan.
don't talk. I don't want to. I'll leave. I don't want to hear about it yet.
Oh, you have to. You're having a. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you talking about all the books?
Yes. So I literally haven't heard what she hates about any of them, and I'm excited to.
How many has she read of yours?
All
Just
of them.
guards.
All of them.
And you read none of hers.
I've read
He
2
read
of
1
hers.
and he gave it 2
And a
stars,
half.
and he's been
And
hostile
a
about
half.
it in 2
And a
live
half.
shows already. So
And a
like,
half. But I
Uh,
didn't trash this one.
which one?
which one?
The Wolf. I
You
just
haven't finished
defended
it yet. You can't trash it yet.
I know, but I defended it just now.
You told at the beginning of the video. You said
Elle,
you agreed.
why are
with
you
my
rabble rousing? I don't even understand. You don't even have a dog in this fight.
My dog's over there.
I know. It's like you're literally throwing like a wasp nest in the arena. You're just like, hey, bzzz, get
I've
stung.
never, if she threw a wasp nest in the arena, we would both just bolt. Neither of us would continue to attack.
That's true. That's
Have
true.
you ever been stung by a wasp? It sucks.
It sucks.
That sucks.
I execute them with extreme prejudice.
It goes bee, wasp, scorpion. Because I've been
But we
stung
need
by all of them.
bees. Bees are dying. We need bees.
Well, I'm not going around killing them.
Elle, why do you hate bees? You know
Save
what?
the
No,
bees.
Leanna, I give bees 2 stars.
Are you the one that's causing the bee shortage?
Okay, I think
I love bees.
that when we start talking about bees, it means that we're probably done.
I like bees.
Anyway, I'm glad you like bees. This is fun.
This
I'm
was
glad
an
that
odd
you and
turn.
Leanna found something to agree on.
I like the little fat fuzzy bees that like hit the wood and like.
You like the mentally challenged bees?
No, they're carpenter bees.
Carpenter bees are like
Carpenter bees.
horrible though for any property. So if you see them, you shouldn't be like, "Yay, carpenter bees!" You should be like,
They're
"Oh no,
fuzzy.
carpenter bees!"
No, I love carpenter bees. They're fuzzy, fat.
Yeah, they destroy your home.
Leanna, why are you so antagonistic about everything?
Carpenter bees are literally home wreckers.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't even listen to this.
Well, it's a good thing we're done then. Bye, everybody.
Can't even listen to this. Bee hater.